Hello everyone, today in this video we'll be discussing the first module of web technology and its applications, which is 18CS63. Okay, so in the first module we have two topics, one is HTML and another one is CSS. Okay, so we'll be discussing some things related with HTML, how to write the basic programs and different attributes which you can use both in HTML and CSS. Okay, so before starting, if you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So these are the topics: introduction to HTML, what is HTML, where did it come from. So these are the questions which are asked in exams as well. And HTML syntax, we'll be learning what are the main syntax of HTML, then semantic markup, structure of HTML documents, and quick tour of HTML elements. So here we'll be learning different types of elements, like how to include the image, how to include the links and all, and HTML5 semantic structure elements. Introduction to CSS, here we'll be learning about the styling attributes and how do you specify the styling attributes in different forms. Okay, so let's get started with the topics. Before that, these are the PYQs. So if we go through the PYQs, you will get to know what type of question you could expect in exam and what to focus while studying. Okay, so the role of UL and OL. Okay, these are the list tags. They have asked the role of this. So in what you can understand from this is that each tags you need to know the applications and the syntax how to write. Okay, so that's an important thing. The second one is what is the need of Cascade. Cascade means what? Suppose that there is a mountain here, from the mountain from the top till bottom the water flows, right? So if there is a HTML document here, like many different tags are there, what is applicable in this part is applicable to the rest of the things under it also, right, until this tag ends. So, but here it will be different. So that is known as cascading, and here we will be learning about specificity and the inheritance. Okay, so that is an important topics. What is the class selectors and pseudo class selectors in CSS? What is the URL, how to URL reference the links in HTML, and these are the different types of tags which you need to focus upon. And CSS properties like float, position, and overflow. What do these mean? Overflow is an important one. What is HTML? Explain the structure of HTML documents and image and list. The tags you need to know. So there are a few tags which you need to know very well. Okay, so we'll be discussing which are those, and explain the CSS and the location of styles. CSS box model, class selectors and ID selectors, the same as the previous one, and the history of markup languages, the first two topics of this module. XML and HTML5, that also comes under these topics, and these are the tags and repeated tags and different levels of style sheets, selectors in CSS and XML, HTML, doc type, PHP, what, WG, and types of list, and the CSS and its benefits. Selectors is an important topic, and HTML syntax and HTML elements. Okay, so we'll be discussing these topics one by one, and let's get started with the first one. What is HTML and where did it come from? So the first glance of HTML and the web came from ARPANET, which marks the beginning of web in the late 1960s. Okay, that was the first phase. That's the first thing which you need to write. And after that, in 1991, HTML was published by Tim Berners-Lee, and means codification was done by the World Wide Web in 1997. Okay, and the markup languages such as HTML, text, and XML and XHTML allow the user to control how the text is visually represented. Okay, that is known as markup language. XHTML is a version, that is the HTML version of XML with syntax rules. The goal of XHTML with its strict rule was to make the page rendering more predictable by forcing the web authors to create the web pages without the syntax errors. Okay, that is a means HTML had the rules in which means the coders were supposed to create the web pages in a standard manner. Okay, to help the web authors, two versions of XHTML were created: XHTML 1.0 strict and XHTML 1.0 transitional. Okay, transitional is a more like means it does not care much about the syntax but about the logic. Okay, but here you are supposed to maintain the strict rules. Okay, and coming to HTML5, this is the most widely accepted one. It focused on the logic part more than the syntax part, so it became more means accepted, because people need not put more effort for the syntaxes, that will be corrected automatically, and the more focus was on logic. Okay, so that was a brief history about the HTML and its different types, like XHTML and its different versions. Okay, and coming to the next one, which is HTML syntax. So this is the basic syntax of HTML. Like, even if you open Notepad, okay, and write some text here and save it as .html, then open it into the browser, that text will be displayed. But if you want to change the attributes like how it is displayed, then you will be using HTML tags. Okay, for example, if you want to add a link, I'm just taking an example, I'll explain each of the tags one by one. But if you want to add a link, like for example you'll be writing here like Google, okay, when someone clicks on Google it should open google.com. So what you'll do, you'll open a tag here, write a is the element name, which is the anchor tag, and you'll write href, then you will be specifying the link here, and then you'll be writing the content means what should be displayed when the user is going to click here, and this is the closing tag. Each of the opening tags will have a closing tag as well, okay. So that is a basic syntax, and these are the attributes, and they should be in double quotes, and all of the other letters should be in lowercase, okay. So this is the basic syntax. All the other tags will be written in the same manner. Let's discuss what are the other types of tags, okay. Before that, nesting of the element means inside a element you are writing another element, that is known as nesting of an element, okay. So inside body tag we have p here, and we have division tag here. Inside division tag we have another paragraph tag, that is the nested element. Advantages of HTML: maintainability, it's faster, the accessibility is smooth, and this search engine means the techniques are optimized, okay. Structure of HTML documents. So these are the important tags which are mostly asked in exam. Header tags, those are used for the headings. H1 means the bigger tag, and H2 means smaller than that, and so on, okay. So for example, H1, closing tag H1, share your travels, so that will be displayed as a heading, okay. And P means a paragraph tag, you can write any paragraph here in between these tags. And division tag is just for the division of different parts of the web page. So this one of the division inside that you can have paragraph or the image or the URL or the audio and so on, okay. And links are nothing but you will be writing means the URL here, and when the user will be clicking this text here which is displayed on the web, at that time he'll be redirected to the URL specified here. Image, if you want to add an image, you will have to do this, like you will be writing image, and the source will be written here in that folder where it is present, that URL will be written relative to where folder you have saved this particular file. For example, this is x.html that is stored in this file, and the image is also in this file. Then you just have to write centralpark.jpg. But it is stored in images in a different subfolder in the same directory. At that time you will have to go to images, then you have to go inside that to fetch this image, okay. So that's what you have to write, the relative URL to where your HTML document is present. And alternate name, if this is not displayed at that time, what text should be shown, that is specified here. And the title of the image, if the image is here, some title will be here, right, the title is specified here. What is the width of the image and what is the height of the image, this is 80, this is 40, that is specified here, okay. But to just display an image, you'll be just writing img source where that source is, and you'll be closing it. That's also sufficient for this displaying an image, okay. And coming to lists, there are there are three elements in list: unordered list, ordered list, and list items, okay. So how you write unordered list is, suppose that you want to display these two things with a bullet point here. You'll be writing ul, closing ul inside the two things here. The two things will be starting from li, list item, and closing here also, and here also. That is unordered list. Here you'll just have the bullet points. Same thing goes for the ordered list as well, but here you'll have the numberings, so you'll just write instead of ul, ol, okay. These two things are same here. And yeah, that's all the three elements about the unordered list, and these are the important tags which are mostly asked in exams, okay. So for more tags information and all, you can go to the refer the official notes and textbook part, okay. Here in that it's explained in depth, okay. But these are just important from the exam point of view. Moving on to the next part of the module, which is the CSS. What is CSS? Cascading style sheets. It's a W3C standard for describing appearance of the HTML elements. So what are the benefits? It means improved control over formatting, improved site maintainability, accessibility, and improved page download speed, and improved output flexibility. Just write 2 or 3 lines about it if they ask in exam, okay. And the next important topic is the location of styles. So how is the styles, where are the styles present? The first is the inline style. Inline style means, suppose that you are write h1 tag here, just write share your travels. It will be just displayed in normal font, share your travels, in black color. But if you want like the font size should be this much and the color should be something else, at that time you will specify like this h2, and you'll write style is equal to, in the double quotes you'll write font size as whatever size you want, and then close it. And what is the text you want to display here, then the closing tag. At that time the style value will be changed according to what you have specified here. That is known as inline style, because in the same line you are writing the style as well. But the second one is the embedded style sheet. Embedded style sheet means in the top of the document of HTML, we'll be starting style here and ending the style tag here. In between that, we'll be writing how h1 should look like, how h2 should look like, what are the attributes of it, and that is under the flower braces. Okay. So that's what the embedded style sheet is, but there is an external style sheet option as well. Means you're writing a CSS in a different style. This is the most used means option, and this link of this one will be specified in the HTML sheet, like style sheet, and where you can find that sheet. Okay, so in that way also we can write the CSS attributes definitions here, like the styles formats here, and that will be linked with this one. Okay. Moving on to the next important topic, which is selectors. Selectors, for example, if I write like P margin 0 and padding 0, at that time what will happen, wherever I find P, at that time the margin and the padding of that paragraph will be 0. Okay, so here the other tags are also used, like whatever we want, like just to specify for a particular title, we can use that. Okay, so ID selectors are also the same thing. We can have different options of means specifying ID selectors. So for example, if in style I write like dot first and then I specify some things here, and then I used class is equal to first, because since I have written dot first, this is known as a class, and this is the class name. Okay, first. So if I write h1 class is equal to first reviews, at that time for this text what will be applied is font style italic and color red. Okay, that is the type 1. In type 2 we have this one, like hash latest comment, and here also I'll specify these things, but this will be means taken as a ID. Okay, not as a class. ID is equal to the name of that ID, and whatever I specify here, that will be means according to this one. Okay, means italic and red. That's all about the selectors. Yeah, there's another type of selector, which is the attribute selector. Attribute selector means if I want title to look like something like cursor, help, padding, bottom, and so on. So at that time what we'll do is we'll write these things in the style, and wherever I find title in the web page, at that time it will be replaced by what rules I have specified here. Means it is Canada flag written here, how it should be displayed is according to these rules. Okay, and pseudo element selector means if you just want to select a part of the paragraph or part of the web page. For example, if there is a paragraph here, the first letter of the paragraph should be blue. That time I will specify colon first letter, background color as blue. At that time what will happen, whenever I start a new element here, suppose there are 3 elements here, I have written one word, another line, another line. This letter will be blue here, rest all will be black, here it will be blue, and here also it will be blue. So that was for the first letter. If suppose that I need so there are many other pseudo element selectors. You can go through the textbook for more details, but the thing is that it will specify what type of the attribute you want. Another one was like first line. Okay, instead of first letter it was first line. So what will happen, the first line of every paragraph that will be in a different format as I specify here. That is known as pseudo element selectors. Again, important question. And contextual selectors. So what does contextual selector means? It's that what is the parent and the child relationship in HTML. Suppose that you have a div tag here and p is here, another div tag is here, and two p's are here. So if I specify like p first child color green, so what is p's first child? So p's first child means wherever I find div here, at that time wherever I find p here, the first p will be the first child and its color will be green. Like that here also for the div, the first child p is green. Like that we can specify the selected ones contextually what I want to make changes. Okay, so these were the basics about the CSS, and coming to the important parts of the important topics of the CSS module. So here we have the topic which is how styles interact. Here we will be studying about the inheritance and the specificity. So what does cascading means? In CSS it refers to how conflicting rules are handled. What is inheritance? Inheritance means the gaining of the same features as the parent class, right? So here we have the font, color, and list and text properties that are inherited, but layout, sizing, border, and background are not inherited. Coming to specificity, that means the browser determines which style rules take precedence. Okay, when more than one style will be applied. You'll be seeing some examples. So here's the HTML document, which is starting from HTML. It has two children, head and body, and inside head we have meta and title. Inside body we have the header tags, paragraph tags, image tag, and header and division tags, paragraph tag. Okay, so if I write like div, at that time font family, color red, and border and margin, the last two things are not inheritable, the first two things are inheritable. Okay, so what happens is when I write these two things, font family and color red, at that time division tags, it has p tags here, the both the p text will become the font family as Arial and the color as red. Here also it will means the changes will be made, as well as here also in time also. Okay, but the changes of border and the margin, that will not be made. That is only for the division tag. Okay, that's how the inheritance works, okay, in HTML. And location means that suppose that I have, like in style, I have an id selector as example, in which I have written the color is equal to orange. Then I'm using this id in a program. Okay, means here I've written id is equal to example, and style is equal to that style also I specified here as red. See, style, the color is orange here, but the color is red here. Which one will be taking the priority? Means the more priority is this one. Okay, because this is inline. Inline will be taken more priority than the embedded CSS style sheets. Okay, so that is what it is known as location, and CSS handles the cascading in this way. Okay, the last important topic is about the box model. In box model, we need to know few things, like this is the margin, what gap you have from the actual document, that is known as margin, and this is the text document, and this has the border here. And padding means what, inside the border at that time how much space you leave, that is known as padding. This is the width and this is the height, and background image color will be just for under the border. Okay, so that the other things which you need to know in the box model. Okay, this is known as box model. And background images, you'll be specifying an image URL by using this one, background image URL, and the URL will be specified here and semicolon. At that time that image will be presented here. If you write background repeat, it will be repeated, else it will be not repeated. Okay, after that we have the position as well, where you want to exactly show, like if you write background position 300px 50px, 300px is for the x-axis, and from the for the y-axis it is 50px, like that it will be displayed. Okay, and border, you can specify the borders like solid or dashed or underlined, 1 pt or 2 pt, and how much thickness it should be, and what is the color of it. So the border will be shown in that way. Okay, and one important property is the overflow property. At that time what happens, if suppose that I write two elements here, okay, and I increase their margin more than the size of this whole thing, okay, at that time what will happen, overflow will happen. This will come here and this will come here, right? Like the overflow things. So that's what it's talking about. In case the outer length and the width exceed the element size, then the relative measurements are used, which is known as overflow property. At that time the relative measurements are used. For example, suppose that there's a body here, body tag. Inside the body tag we have a div class here, as well as a div class inside of it. Okay, so in the outer div class, the parent has the fixed size, as means this text will be displayed, and inside the div class is percent. So what is parent fixed, what is percent, this I'll be showing you in the styles means code, what do these things represent. Okay, but understand one thing, there is a outer parent and this is the inner parent. In outer class what will be displayed is parent has fixed size. In inner class what will be displayed is percent 50% of the width and height. Okay, so the in the style sheet this is defined here, p parent fixed. Okay, parent fixed and percent. Parent fixed has the width 400px and height 150px, and the background is beige. Okay, so what's happening here, parent fixed is there, so in that what will be first displayed, parent has fixed size. So parent has fixed size is displayed here, and what is the size of it, it's specified here because the id is same. Okay, 400px and 150px, this 400px 150px. So this is the outer element. Inside that there is another div class of percent, which has 50% of the width and height. 50% means if this is 400, the outer parent is 400, inside this class is defined, the 400's half is 200, so this will be 200, and this will be 150, 150 is half, which is 75. So it will be of this size, and here what will be shown is percentage 50% of width and height. So like that the things work relatively, because if we like write these things, if this becomes greater than the parent, then at that time overflow will happen, right? So for that we'll be just specifying the percentages, relative measurements of what is the outer class, and the answer will be of the inner class measurements. Okay, and that's how the overflow property is handled in CSS. And after this we have the last important topic, which is the font family. So if you want to specify the font, we'll be writing like this, for which tag you want to specify the font, and font family as if like at least 4 we have to specify. Okay, because if this is not available we'll be using this one, if this is not available this one, else this one. Okay, for that font family is described, that defines the style of the font, like the handwriting is of which form, Cambria, Georgia, Times New Roman, or serif. Okay, And along with that, if you want to specify the size of the font, we'll be writing p font size is equal to 1 em. Okay, so these are the most repeated topics in the previous year question papers, so you can go through it. And if you want more information, like I had first read the textbook, in that many more tags are there. You'll get in-depth information about the means the different type of tags. Okay, so you can go to that for more information. And yeah, that's all for this video, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.